You understand what I'm saying, Pastor? When we look at a banker, this guy will come to him, he's a banker, he's do this, he do that. But is more in depth with a banker because he could prepare you. You see, he could prepare you now to get the mortgage, and mortgage, I think mortgage rates are very low right now. It's very low, and this is like a buyer's market, and people are waiting until things go back to normal. Let me give you some good news. There's no more normalcy. There's no more. Someone is asking a question here. Someone is asking a question about being debt-free. What if you are debt-free with no credit? Pastor George?
Yeah.
If you're debt-free, you want to buy a house, you're debt-free, but you ain't got no credit.
Yeah, that's a great question. Unless you're going to buy the house cash, the bank is going to want to see what's called a FICO score. FICO is the company that works with the credit bureaus to produce the credit score. And in order for you to have a credit score, guess what you need? Credit. So unless you're going to buy the house cash, the banks or a hard money lender is going to want to see some type of FICO score. Normally banks are, depending on the type of mortgage that you can get, they're approving with 620 credit scores or above. You will see even some above 580s, but very, very hard interest rates, very tough. But to answer the question, you definitely need a FICO score. Now, to put this into context, someone starting from zero, Pastor, who doesn't have credit, there are things that you can do within 45 days for a bank to see your credit and say, yes, we will approve you as long as your income and everything looks good. I just had the situation today. Today, we have a person who a bank called me and they said, this person does not have credit. I need them to have credit within 45 days.
Wow.
So we're working with that person so they can have credit legally so the bank can see a score and approve them. So if you don't have any credit, there's ways to do this properly so you can be approved within 45 days, as long as what Sister Nicola said is done, making sure that you have everything else checked off with the banker so you can get the pre-approval.
So how much credit are you going to have in 45 days?
What happens is, there's what's and many people have heard of this, there's what's called authorized users. For someone who does not have any credit, technically you can have a friend, close friend or family member, according to the law, FICO law, that they can add you on to a couple of their cards, but there's a big but. There is specific ways you have to do this and specific orders and specific cards with specific history, with specific limits in order to properly have your credit be at a point for the bank to be able to approve you. I don't normally recommend it unless it's urgent. What I teach everyone is to build their own credit, but I've seen it where someone needs, like today, to close on a home within the next 45 days, and they need someone who has credit. And in this case, this is what we're legally doing with this person.
So the question I have here is that there's a risk factor when you add someone to your credit to build their credit.
Yes, because it's legal. It's legal in America, but it's illegal to buy. So if you're going out there and buying this type of stuff, you got to be very careful. However, if my sister or my brother or my close friend who preferred lives in the same household, they can literally do this and it can be legal. However, you want to speak to your loan officer, back to Nicola. But she said you want to speak to your loan officer, so the loan officer is the one that says, yes, I will accept that. This is why, Pastor, it's so important to have a team. I think that's one very important thing. A realtor, such as Nicola, a banker, loan officer, and then a credit person.
And a lawyer.
A lawyer.
Yes, a lawyer. Law is very important.
Yes.
Because one of the things happened to myself and my wife, the real estate gave us a lawyer, which is no for me. You see, because it was a conflict of interest, but we were able to get out of that. So this is the team. When you think about buying a home, like you just said, Pastor George, a real estate person. Okay, they're the ones who are counseling you.
Yes.
They're the one who getting all the information. What is it you like? What you're looking for? But they're looking right. Good. Then, if the credit is no good, then you have the banker. But most important is the lawyer, someone who's going to look over the contract.
Yes.
And I always say, man, a lawyer is very important.
Yes.
In every aspect. But ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say tonight that Jesus did something. Jesus' disciple, they did something. They said, teach us how to pray as John teaches disciple. So there are people here who are willing to teach you how to do it. How to do it. There's no sense sit back there and you could pray and you could pray and you could pray, but you need to get off your knees now and put what you're praying into action. Faith without works is dead. Nothing happened until you move. Nothing. And then there was another man who was leaving Jerusalem, going back to Ethiopia. And here's the evangelist came up to him and asked him, understanding what you read it. He said, how can I? Except a man show me. So you have Nicole to show you, going to spend time with you, get to know you, because I believe relationship is very important. You get to know people.
Yeah.
And then she will have the resources now, right? Because remember, she is the real estate person, and now you might have a credit situation. She has Pastor George on her team. And then the banker, she might have the bank on her team. So you can say, well, they have to work together. They have to communicate together. They have to communicate together.
It's rewarding to see that.
So you see, it's very important. Pastor, how you feel to know that somebody came to you from a real estate person, wherever they came from, and know to see what their credit used to be, because I used to be a client.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I cannot express it, Pastor. I always tell customers it's about serving them, and to see someone come in not believing, Pastor, that's what we see a lot. People believe it's not possible. I'm sure Sister Nicole, she said it. People are afraid. They don't think it's possible for them, and to see them walking out with their two hands up,
Mm.
It's a powerful feeling, you know, it's a powerful feeling.
Mm.
So for those who are listening, you said it best, Pastor. You have to take action. And that action starts with a simple phone call.
Mm.
Simple phone call to Sister Nicola
Mhm.
to express what you're trying to accomplish.
Mm.
You know, take an action one day at a time, 1 week at a time, and working with people who are professionals in those areas that are there to help you.
Mm. And one of the things I always hear you say, Pastor George, I remember